These are the 6 most important lessons I've learned over the past 10 years of my content creation journey. Each lesson applies to one step of creating a YouTube video, which makes the lecture super actionable for you so that you can make your next video the one that will blow up your channel. Why should you listen to me? I'm Igor Rupieta. I've already achieved 320,000 followers across social media platforms and 89 million views in total. This is my YouTube account, 52k subscribers as of right now. This is my Instagram, 137k followers, and my TikTok, 132. I have also posted my first ever YouTube videos when I was only 8 years old, and already you can see that this gaming video had 2,000 views back in 2016. So I was doing this for a long time, and I have also made my first 10k online as a content creator when I was only 16. This is a screenshot of my bank account. I'm from Poland, and so when you translate that into dollars, that's like just below $11,000. I also teach content creation full-time. This is my entire business. I run a creator community where I help content creators make money online with school. So I believe I'm pretty credible to talk about this. Now, break through the she hands wall with a micro niche is our first lesson. How do you become famous on YouTube? Let me ask you that. Well, you break through the she hands wall. And so what is it, the she hands wall? Well, it is basically a barrier that separates the masses of mediocre creators who are not known and superior creators who are known. And so this is what it looks like. You've got she hands wall in the middle, you've got the mediocre creators who nobody knows on the left side, and you've got the superior creators who everybody knows on the right side. So these are the big YouTubers with hundreds of thousands and millions of subscribers. And these are the people who sometimes get views and sometimes not, and they just fade away and nobody cares about them. So how do you break through? Well, imagine you're trying to physically break through a wall. Like in real life. Imagine you're in prison and you're trying to break through a wall. How many holes do you dig in the wall? Well, obviously one. Instead of digging many different ones, you just take your spoon in prison and you start digging a single hole until it's big enough so that you can get through the wall. And so that is exactly how breaking through the she hands wall works. In order to break through it on YouTube, you have to dig one big hole instead of 15 small ones. You have to enter a micro niche. So what most YouTubers do is they try to make videos about nofap, then about fitness, then about dating, then about making money. And so they dig 15 different holes and they never get through the wall. Instead, the one YouTuber who focuses on one single topic and becomes an expert in that, that is the person that breaks through. If we are talking about fitness, that is a niche, right? But a micro niche could be something like working out on gymnastic rings. Now, why would you want to enter a micro niche? Well, that's because a micro niche is a highly specialized segment of a larger market. It focuses on specific topics, interests, or needs that are not widely covered. And because of that, micro niches attract passionate and engaged viewers who are specifically interested in the topic, leading to real sales. So, if you were making videos about general fitness, sometimes about working out at the gym with a barbell, sometimes at home workouts, sometimes working out in calisthenics parks, then your audience would be very different. Some people would watch some of your videos, other ones would watch other videos. But if you're only making videos about working out on gymnastic rings, then you can be sure that every single viewer is going to watch every single one of your videos because they are interested in that very specific topic. And then because your entire audience is interested in that one specific thing, it's so much easier for you to create a product like, for example, gymnastic rings, or even a program for gymnastic rings, and then you can be sure that most of your audience is going to buy that because you have an audience in a micro niche, which is super powerful. And on top of that, with fewer creators in a micro niche, your content is more likely to be noticed and valued by the target audience because, as I said, there are not that many creators, so if you were interested in specifically only gymnastic rings and you found a YouTuber who did exactly that, you would be very likely to become his big fan, right? And also, specializing in a micro niche allows you to establish yourself as an expert, placing you in brain boxes. Because if you're only gonna be talking about gymnastic rings, then everybody's gonna call you a gymnastic rings expert. But what are the brain boxes? Well, having someone in a brain box is associating them with a certain topic. This makes you remember the person more until someone else enters the brain box. So we all have those kind of boxes in our minds. So this is what it looks like. We could, for example, have a masculinity brain box, right? When you think of masculinity, who comes to your mind? Well, for me, for example, that could be Hamza, right? But then if I think of SMMA, another topic, right? Running a social media marketing agency. Well, I think of a person. Who do I think of? Well, for me, Iman Gadji, right? And then there's, for example, making money as a content creator. Who comes to your mind? Well, Igor Rupieta, right? And so this is what brain boxes look like. We associate people with certain topics, and that's why we remember them. And that is actually more accurate when talking about a she-hands wall, because in reality, people on the other side of she-hands wall are the people we associate with certain topics. Because you could, for example, recognize your favorite fitness influencer. You could recognize your favorite filmmaking influencer, right? Your favorite entrepreneur, right? And those are the people you have here. On the other hand, these are the random people that make videos about this and that, and you don't really know them because all sorts of different videos appear on their channel. And so what this means is that you have to enter a brain box first by niching down heavily, and then you can try to expand into other niches. Because if you break through the she-hands wall, right, and now you are known, now people want to listen to you, no matter what you talk about, right, then you can pretty much talk about anything, just like celebrities. They give advice on anything and people listen to them. Why? Because they are known. They are looked up to. And so that is literally the exact same thing on YouTube. If I become known for making money as a content creator and I get to millions of subscribers, then I will be able to talk about something else. For example, why I don't necessarily like crypto, because then people are going to listen to me because I'm an expert in one field, and so, you know, I'm a public figure, I'm known, and so then people will start listening to me in different topics, which doesn't make sense at all, but this is how human psychology works, right? So what you gotta do is you gotta niche down first, make one hole in the wall, dig in it, and only then expand after you break through it, because then you're free, you're not in prison anymore, right? And so then you can start living life, talking about whatever you want. So here's the recap of breaking through the she-hands wall lesson. Start creating content in a micro niche, which will make you more money. Because as I said, if you have fans that are heavily interested in one specific topic, and if you make a course or like a community, or if you start coaching on that specific topic, you will be much more likely to get clients that way, because every single person that watches your channel is interested in that topic, which is super powerful. Then make so many videos in the niche that you become known for that. I mean, at least 100 videos. Think about that. 100 micro niche videos. You will repeat yourself, but that's not a problem, and we'll get to that later. But if you make 100 videos in that specific topic, you will become known for that, right? And only after you're famous, rich, and successful from being in a micro niche, then you can gradually expand to other topics. Listen, there are people making millions every year having just a few thousand subscribers because they are very niched. And so after you achieve that, then you can expand to other topics, and that is how you're going to dominate the world. We've covered the first lesson about coming up with ideas, so let's get to the next one, which is about creating a title and thumbnail and why they do matter. So there are a few common YouTube misconceptions. The first one is that click-through rate doesn't matter, right? Also, average view duration doesn't matter. And if you're an educator, don't look at the YouTube analytics and just provide value. That is all you have to focus on. But listen, I disagree. And here's why. Let me show you exactly how the algorithm works for you to understand that. What happens first when you post a video is YouTube algorithm pushes it to 100 people. This is your core audience, right? The people who usually watch your channel. I mean, it doesn't have to be 100, that's just the number I gave there, right? Let's say you have 100 subscribers, so YouTube pushes that video to 100 of your subscribers, the people who usually watch your videos. What it then does is it checks the click-through rate and the average view duration on the video that you have just posted within the core audience. And now, if it doesn't perform well, then YouTube kills the video and it doesn't promote it further. It just leaves it at 100 views and that's it. Because the click-through rate is low, the average view duration is low, so it means that the video is not a good video, so it's not worth promoting further. On the other hand, if the click-through rate and the average view duration is high, then YouTube assumes, okay, so within the core audience, that video performed really well. It is probably a good video, so let's push it further and maybe more people are going to like it. It pushes the video to 1,000 people then. As an example again, it checks the click rate, it checks the average view duration, and the loop repeats. Now, what's important here? YouTube doesn't just try once. It pushes that video to 100 people, but then it doesn't just kill the video if it doesn't perform well. It tries pushing it to more audiences, right? So let's say these are self-improvement guys aged 18 to 21. If it doesn't perform well here, then it may try to push that video to an older audience of, let's say, people aged 30 to 50. If it doesn't perform well there, then it may try pushing it to people 13 to 18, and it also may try pushing it to entrepreneurs rather than people on self-improvement, and it just repeats the process until it finds an audience that likes the video. I mean, if it doesn't, then your video never blows up. But what happens here is that your video could be performing well within this audience and not those audiences. And so YouTube sees, okay, so this audience likes it, so let me try to push this video to more of this kind of audience, right? So if this is entrepreneurs aged 20 to 30, then it tries pushing that video to more of such people. So you have to make sure that the CTR click-through rate will be high in your target audience. That's why this actually matters, right? Average view duration, the same thing, because that is how YouTube algorithm judges whether your video is good or not. And so let me show you an example. I've made a video titled How to Get More Views as a Self-Improvement YouTuber, and these are the two thumbnails I came up with. And so if you think about it, my target audience is self-improvement YouTubers, but this first thumbnail doesn't really look like it's for self-improvement YouTubers. It rather looks like it's for Fortnite retards. On the other hand, this looks like it's for actual YouTubers, and so as you can guess, this didn't perform well at all, but as soon as I changed the thumbnail to this, the click-through rate didn't necessarily go up in my YouTube analytics because it was already lower due to me starting with this thumbnail, but YouTube promoted this to actual YouTubers, and then the video started slowly but surely getting more views because I made the thumbnail fit the target audience, even though this is technically a good thumbnail, right? It works with the general YouTube thumbnail creation rules. This is better because it fits actual YouTubers, people who are more intelligent than this Sigma Financial kind of Andrew Tate Fortnite llama thing, right? And so the thumbnail also has an impact on your average view duration. Your thumbnail makes a promise, and if the video doesn't deliver on that promise, the viewer will click off. And so this is important because, as I said, the two stats that YouTube checks is click-through rate and average view duration. And so a thumbnail and your title, they also have an impact on that. So let me show you an example. this is a thumbnail for one of my videos, Hot 30, how to change your life in 30 days. And so you can see this scene right here. I'm with my girl. And so what is happening in the first 3 seconds of the video? Literally the exact same scene. And so the thumbnail delivers on what it promises, right? Then I've got another video, how to not waste your teenage years. This is a short film, and you can see me on like a huge crane above the city, right? And so this could look like clickbait, but then the first 3 seconds of the video, and you can see literally the exact same thing. And so I deliver again. And these videos both have many views, but on the other hand, I also have this video from the previous slide, and it didn't perform that well because this is what the thumbnail promises, right? But then the video itself, this is what it starts with. It doesn't look even close to the thumbnail, which is a horrible mistake there. So make sure that your at least first few seconds of the video look the exact same as your thumbnail. That is how you're going to get a higher average view duration, because your viewer is going to order a product, click on your video, and then he's going to receive the exact same product that he ordered, so he's going to be satisfied. If not, he's going to click off. So that's for the thumbnail, but your title, that matters too. But I don't want you to overthink it, because what you want to do with the title is you just want to show benefits of watching the video. Because if you do something like this is one of my videos that performed really well, over 200,000 views. If I named it something like this, Winter Arc, the ultimate 90-day self-improvement challenge, then you don't know the benefit of watching the video. Like, sure, it's a challenge, yeah, Winter Arc, but what is the benefit? What do I get from watching that video? You don't know, so you don't click. But on the other hand, I named it like this, Winter Arc, how to change your life in 90 days. And so now you can see that if you click on the video, you're going to change your life in 90 days. So now it makes more sense. And there are so many YouTubers who don't show the benefits of watching their videos. It's like, you have to suffer. It's good that you're suffering. And they're like, okay, I get that. That's a sentence you gave me in the title. And what do I get from clicking the video? I don't know. Like, you just told me that. Okay, thank you. And what is the reason for me to click the video? So they don't click, right? So make sure you fix that. Now, another thing is that your titles should just be clear and straightforward. There's really not much to it. Just use plain English. And if you have an idea that is very, very clear and straightforward, for example, how to get more views as a self-improvement YouTuber, that could be a very good title because it's simple and straightforward. If you're an educator, that is what people look for. Now, if you can, use power words. So a power word right here is, for example, the ultimate 90-day self-improvement challenge, or something like the powerful, the best, right? Those are kind of power words. You can look up power words on Google, try to use them in your titles, but if they're going to make it less straightforward, don't do that. But if you can, power words kind of work. And what you can also do is you can go to this website called thumbsup.tv. It is basically a tool that I use to preview my titles and thumbnails. So what it does, it creates something like this here, right? You can see it's a simulation, and you can see whether your title fits on the YouTube sidebar. Because if your title is too long, that is going to be cut off and people are not going to know what they click on, right? Which is very important because it should be clear and straightforward. So make sure you check that and shorten the title if necessary. Now, here's a recap of the title and thumbnail does matter. Make your CTR high in your target audience, but don't judge that using YouTube analytics. That's because YouTube takes all the audiences that it tests on and it just sums up the numbers. So if it tests that within farmers, then your entrepreneurship video may not perform that well, and so the overall CTR is going to be low, but it may be high in one specific audience. So don't look at the YouTube analytics, just make sure that you visualize your target audience and what would be the thumbnail they would click on. Create exactly that. Then you want to ask yourself, what does your thumbnail promise, and deliver on that in the video. Just like I did, I shoot the thumbnail and the first few seconds of my video, literally in the exact same place. I don't even change my camera setup or anything. I just start recording the video. Then you want to show benefits of watching your video in the title and make it straightforward. Instead of just saying that it's an ultimate self-improvement challenge, you want to say what's going to happen after the challenge. So how to change your life, how to make more money, how to become productive. Those are the benefits people look for, and those titles are very clear and straightforward. There's no much to it, but they generally work better, so don't overcomplicate it. Doing this will help you get more of your target audience to see your video, which is exactly what you should be aiming for. Not to just get more views, but to get more of your target audience to see your video, because that is how you're going to get more sales and make more money. Now, we've covered that, so let's get to the third lesson. Find a formula and stick to it. This is about scripting. What you want to do is you want to find a structure in which you're going to be scripting your videos. So an example of that I use in my cinematic videos is hook, problem, story, and solution. So what does this look like in practice? A hook is where you deliver on the title and make the viewer want to keep watching, so you intrigue them. Then in the problem, you explain the problem. It's very simple. The problem that you're then going to be solving throughout the video. Then the story is just basically showing your journey of trying to solve the problem, and the solution is a climax, it's a happy ending, and it's where you solve the problem. So I know it may seem all over the place, but let me show you exactly how to use it. Here's an example, my video, how to not waste your teenage years short film. The hook is, your teenage years are the most important years in your whole life, but do you really live them, or do you just exist? I can't really explain it to you. It just sounds intriguing. I ask a question and the viewer is like, damn, do I really live them or do I just exist? So let me watch further. Let me watch and see what he means. Then we go to the problem. The problem that I was facing in the beginning of the video was being lonely, addicted, and sad. Then the story is me starting self-improvement and how that started to gradually change my life. Then I get to solution, the end of the video, which is I find love, I start making money, and I'm happy. This is the entire structure of the video. This is just storytelling. You use the hook to intrigue the viewer, and then you tell a story. Your character has a problem, then it tries solving that problem, and at the end, it solves that problem. And that structure repeats in every single one of my cinematic videos. For example, how to change your life in 30 days, Hot 30 challenge. Get ready for the best summer of your life. The exact same thing. The hook, Hot 30 is a completely new self-improvement challenge. Different to any other the world has seen so far. It's not about locking yourself in the room and grinding for 30 days, but rather preparing yourself for the best summer of your life. And so you can see that now it's intriguing because it's a challenge that is different to any other the world has seen so far. So you have not seen this kind of a challenge before, so now you want to see it. Then we get to a problem. I'm grinding hard, I'm making money, and I'm on self-improvement, but I'm socially awkward. That is my problem. And so then the story is me talking to 30 strangers over 30 days, getting more comfortable with talking to people, and at the end I find high quality friends and love. That's the entire structure of the video. And the structure repeats for a reason, because I use habit forming to my advantage. If you've ever read any kind of book on habits, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The viewer in the beginning, before watching my video, could feel sad, demotivated, right? Not really driven. Then they watch my video and they're happy, they're motivated, right? And so what happens next is when they are demotivated, they think to themselves, oh, watching that video will get me motivated. So what happens? They watch the video, right? And repetitiveness like this is very important because it makes the viewer associate your videos with a certain feeling. So if they like it, they keep clicking for more. This is exactly how every single habit that we have works. We try something for the first time, like video games. We see that it makes us happy, excited, we like the competitiveness, and so we start playing more because we think to ourselves, okay, if I turn on my computer and start playing again, I will feel the exact same good way. And so this thing also works on YouTube, and you have to pay attention to that when you're creating such content. And it's not only that people will be more likely to click back on your videos, but it's also that it makes your content binge worthy, which insanely boosts your watch time. Because if a person clicks on one of your videos, right, they watch it, they love it, then you recommend them at the end, on the end screen, that you recommend them a video that is pretty much the same. They watch the video, they like it again because they like the previous one, so they like this one too, and then you recommend them another, so they watch that one too. And so now, instead of watching just one, they watched 3 of your videos, so one session of entering your video turns into like an hour of watch time, which to YouTube algorithm is insane, and so it promotes your channel a lot more. And it's also that repetitive videos are easier and faster to make, because if you just find one structure and you stick to it and you keep repeating it in every single one of your videos, then it's basically going to become automatic for you to follow it and to script your videos in that way, so it's not going to be so demanding to come up with the ideas. And you know what's funny? TV shows have been doing that since forever, because let me just give you an example. When I was young, I used to watch SpongeBob, right? And all of SpongeBob's episodes work in the exact same way. First is an introduction to the episode. We are, for example, at Krusty Krab. And so obviously they don't say that, but they show that, right? So there's the introduction to the episode. Where are we? Then there's the problem. For example, Plankton tries stealing the recipe. And so we've got the story then where SpongeBob prevents him from stealing it. And that's where all the funny stuff happens, all the plot twists and all that. And then we've got a happy ending where Plankton is mad and the recipe is safe. This repeats itself in every single one of the episodes. And even if it's not like Plankton, and if the story is not literally the exact same, the introduction, problem, story, and happy ending, this is the exact same in all the episodes. And that is what makes the show binge-worthy. That's why you can watch one episode, go to another, and feel the exact same thing with every single episode. That's why they are so addictive. And so here's a recap to find a formula and stick to it. You want to develop your video structure. You want to make sure that it works. So what you do is you try a structure, you make a video using that structure. If it performs well, then you see, okay, so this structure is good. Then you take that and you start implementing it in every single one of your videos. Make every video on your channel using the exact same formula till you die, basically. Of course, you can change it later, but it's like at least 100 videos in the same structure, and I can guarantee you're going to get the best results you've ever had in your entire life. Then you just watch your channel blow up and your viewers become real fans, because if you deliver the same thing all the time, the same high quality, they love you. We've covered that, so let's get to the next lesson, which is about filming. Be likable, not authoritative. This is a huge one. The number one mistake new creators make is trying to imitate known figures and being authoritative as a result. And this is especially common in the self-improvement and finance space. Why does this happen? Well, first of all, just look at this example. You know this guy, right? And so whether you like him or not, we can all agree that this is one of the most authoritative figures that appeared in the past few years. But the reason he can be authoritative and the reason he got so many fans with that strategy is because he's super impressive. He is on this private jet, right? He's rich, strong, muscular, all that. And so he's living life. And that's why he can be authoritative. But on the other hand, if there comes a guy like this, and he's just standing in his room with an anime poster in the background and this weird sign on his wall, and he's trying to be authoritative, right? Then you basically see him as a clown, because like, hey bro, like who are you? You're literally living with your parents with an anime poster in the background, and you're trying to give me life advice? You're trying to teach me how to become rich? So This is the number one mistake new content creators make. And so you cannot be authoritative if you're not impressive, unless you want to look like a clown. So you either get results first and only then start talking like an authority figure, or you just talk like a likable figure at all times. And so what is a likable figure? Well, there are some traits. And so the first one is authenticity. It's just basically not trying to be someone you're not. Because oftentimes when you're trying to give financial advice, you make a video titled "How to Become a Millionaire as a Teenager." But then you're like, are you a millionaire, bro? No, you're not. And so stop pretending that you're someone that you're not. Why are you giving advice on something that you haven't yet even achieved yourself, right? And so be authentic. Don't try to be like Andrew Tate if you're not Andrew Tate, right? Then humility. Acknowledge that you may not always have the answers and keep your ego in check. This is a huge one, even for big creators. Recently, you may have seen the drama with Hamza Ahmed, right? The problem was that he was always giving the advice. This is the best way to do that. This is the best way to find a wife. This is how you get into a relationship. This is how you do that. But then he messes up himself, right? And so it's like, wait, so is the advice good or not? Because he was always saying like, yeah, this is the best way to do it. This is what I believe. This is it, right? And he never said anything like he could be wrong. That is just what he thinks. No, he always just said in like harsh truths. And so when it turned out to not work so well, then it backlashed on him. So instead of just saying that you have the answers, just say that this is what I think. This is what I do. This is what I believe. This may not be the answer, but this is what I found. And just like that, you're going to be so much more likable. And finally, just be positive. Smile, laugh, make jokes, and don't take yourself too seriously. You see how I'm smiling right now? It probably made you smile more too, right? And that's the whole point. I want you to remember this smiley face. Don't be ashamed of smiling, laughing, being funny. Nobody's gonna just randomly stop taking advice from you because you're not smiling. I would say that it works even the other way. When I asked my friends in the past, yo, what do you think of my videos? They just said, you're smiling a lot more in real life. You're a lot more funny. And so why is it not the case in the videos? And I was like, damn, maybe because I'm trying to be too serious. And it doesn't even work that well. You wanna be a likable creator, and here's why. Because first of all, that's probably how you are naturally. I see many guys in my community for creators, when I teach them, they start their videos and they start talking like this, right? Their eyebrows go angry. But it's like, bro, you're smiling and laughing on our calls. You're making jokes. And so that's not how you are naturally. So be authentic. Don't be like that. Try to be just as you are when talking to your friends. Are you authoritative when talking to your friends? Or are you rather smiling and funny? Second of all, there is no world in which being more likable than authoritative will do you any harm. Like, was there a case when something bad happened because you were too likable? I'm not talking about being nice to people, right? That's not the same thing. I'm talking about being likable, being positive, authentic, and humble. Has anything bad in history ever happened because of that? No. Those are all positive traits. And so just be likable and you will be better off. It's so simple. And there are two examples of creators I like that are very likable. So if you want to know a little more about what this means to be likable, just take a look at them. Sam Sulek and Matt Diavela. Sam Sulek makes super authentic videos. He just talks for hours at a time. He just shows himself working out, and yet that gets 3.5 million subscribers. Because people like him so much. Because of his personality, right? He's not pretending to be someone he's not. He's just himself. And so people like him. Same thing with Matt Diavela. Almost 4 million subscribers. Same thing. He's just being himself. He's not trying to be a guru. He's not trying to flex on anybody. He's just showing his experiences. How he tried something, he learned this, he learned that, how his life went, and it clearly works. So how to be a likable creator? Instead of saying how to, say how I. And this is everything that you're going to need. So you see how this video is 10 years on YouTube, 6 brutal lessons I've learned, right? I've learned. Not the 6 YouTube lessons that will make you blow up your channel. No, because there are many ways to blow up your channel, but these are just the lessons I've learned. And so just that small change made it so much more personal, so much more likable. And so here are more examples. How to make 10K as a teenager, or how I made 10K as a teenager. So which one is more likely to give you better results? Another guy who has never made 10K in his life telling you how to do that? Or a guy who's showing his experience of how he actually accomplished that? This is better advice, right? And this repeats itself all the time. Imagine this. You need to stop being a loser, or how I stopped being a loser. This is more clear, more straightforward, and it actually shows a benefit, because here, like you see, this is just a sentence like you need to stop being a loser. Like, okay, bro, yeah, okay. What's the reason for me to click on the video? There's no reason. But here, how I stopped being a loser, this suggests, okay, if I watch the video, I will know how to stop being a loser, right? And so this now shows benefits. So just do this. Here's the recap. If you have no impressive results in a certain area, don't be authoritative unless you want to look like a clown. And so that is exactly what I gave you my results in the beginning of this video. Why I said that I have so many followers and why I said that I have so many views. Because I am being a little bit authoritative here, right? Because I'm technically telling you what to do. But at the same time, I want you to see that I'm not just a clown preaching something I haven't done myself. And so this is the reason why I showed you the results. And so now I can be a little bit more authoritative. But if I didn't have the results, I would just say, this is how I do stuff, right? And maybe it would work out. Then you just want to be authentic, positive, and humble. Smile, be yourself, talk as if you were talking to your friends. And then say how I instead of how to. This is just a small change. Of course, you're not going to be able to do that all the time, but it's going to help you a lot. I can guarantee you that. And you can become authoritative only after you get results, but you also don't have to. Smile. Now, we've got that, so let's go further. Unedited videos are a scam for beginners. This is a lesson about editing, and this is actually a big one, because many big YouTubers these days switch to less edited raw content. And so I have an example for you here. Let me play the first few seconds of the videos here.
This is the blueprint to becoming a millionaire, and I'm going to walk you through the levels to becoming one. Level 1 is the fundamental.
And now let's play this one.
I made 35,000 posts over 40 months and grew a 7.8 million person audience. And 3 weeks ago, I made 6 big shifts in my content. And I want to show you behind the scenes what we found from those 6 big shifts.
So you can see how different these videos are. This is the same guy, Alex Hormozy, right? He posted this video, I don't know, like a year ago or 2, and this one just very recently. And so you can see the big change of how much he's screaming in here, right? All the animations, the sound effects and all of that. And now he's just standing there and talking. And the reason for that is to acquire a more intelligent audience that can then buy his products. And so, because the difference is that here, this like hyper stimulating video, this is going to attract a younger audience. People who don't have the attention span to watch just a raw video like this one. And it does work for him, but I think that it won't work as well for you. Let me explain. It works for big YouTubers because after building a huge audience, they are already very good speakers and they get views anyway, which attracts new people. Because just think about it. If you see a video that has 1 million views and is a very educational or something like that, it suggests a solution to a problem that you have. How likely are you to click on it? Well, very likely, right? But if you have the same exact video with the same title, the same thumbnail, but it has 50 views, you're not as likely to click on it, right? So the views do matter there, which is horrible to be honest, because some educational videos don't have as many views, but that's just their reality, right? And so it works better for them. And also on top of that, you're probably not that good of a speaker, right? because they have been speaking for years now. That guy, Alex, he's like over 30. He's been an entrepreneur for like the past 10 years or more. And so he now knows how to speak. And you, if you're a beginner, you probably don't. And so you have to make up for it with your visuals. That's like pretty much the only way to go about it. And now, what is the best way to do visual, right? The best way to do visuals is to only add what makes it easier for the viewer to understand your concepts. Remember, we are talking about being an educational YouTuber here, not just an entertainment guy. If you're an entertainer targeting kids, right, those stupid people, then of course you can do all those sound effects, explosions and all of that. But if you're an educator, then you just want to help the viewer understand the concepts better. The first way to do that is to use a whiteboard. And here I'm going to show you 3 examples of exactly how Alex Hormozy does that. You can see here he just has a whiteboard, he's talking, but also writing down some things on the whiteboard, which helps the viewer understand the concepts better. Then we've got another thing he does, which is creating presentations. And this is exactly the same thing that I'm doing right now. This is super powerful because it not only helps the viewer understand the concepts more, but because I can also read off of the slides, it's easier for me to record. I can do this in literally one take. I don't have to look at the script, then at the camera, then at the script, then at the camera. I don't have to press the record button again and again and again and then connect that in the editing. It makes everything so much more comfortable. But if you like just talking to the camera with no script, not reading anything, right, not writing anything down, then you can just talk and add very simple editing in the end. That could just be text, that could be images, just like here. The only thing that was added in this video was just like images and just text, and it performed really well. So these are the 3 tactics you can use if you're an educator, you want to help your viewer understand the concepts better, and also enhance your visuals so that your video looks professional, but so that it doesn't take too much of your unnecessary effort. And this is all looking very mature, so you will attract the kind of audience that you want to buy your products. Now, what it will do for you? First of all, it will make it easier for your viewer to understand the concepts, which will educate them better. And if it's going to educate them better, they're gonna like you more, which is a big win right there. It will make it easier for you to record, which is what I already explained, because here you can see that whenever I'm clicking my mouse, a new slide appears, I'm reading off it, you're probably reading with me, and then I'm looking into the camera and I'm just talking to you off the top of my head, which is super easy and comfortable for me, and also, quite frankly, I think pretty easy and fun to consume for you. And also, it will improve your retention, which will get you more views that you want. Because imagine I was just talking like this to the camera at all times. It wouldn't be as interesting. It would probably be harder for you to focus. But on the other hand, if you have those slides and you can read with me, the retention is better, which gets me more of people like you who are intelligent and who I want to be educating, right? And so what you want to do is you want to choose one style of visuals that you're the most comfortable with and stick to it forever, which will make your content very repetitive, which we already discussed is a very good thing because of the TV shows idea, making them binge-worthy, making them have the same feeling inside. And so let's recap the thing here. Unedited videos are a scam for beginners. Make less stimulating videos to acquire higher quality viewers that may actually give you money. Unless you're a really good speaker already, make up for your lack of skills with visuals, just like I do right now. Use presentations, whiteboard, or very simple editing. Text, or you can even create a presentation and just add it in the editing process. I'm going with it live, but you can add it in the editing. That will make it easier for you to record and for the viewer to understand your concepts, which will lead to better retention and more leads to your business. We've covered the editing part, which gets us to the last lesson. YouTube is not a full-time career. This is a lesson about monetizing. And so let me tell you that YouTube is not a full-time career, because if you decide to only make your money from YouTube, which is ad revenue and sponsorships, you will be broke. Right now, as I'm recording this video, it's the middle of June. It's June 19th, right? And so far this month, I've made exactly $0 from sponsorships. I've made $50 from YouTube ad revenue, but $1,700 from my business. So I mean, sure, if you want to just go off of sponsorships and ad revenue and earn $50, yeah, sure, do that. There's not a problem. I must stay to going with a business, right? This standard YouTuber income, ad revenue plus sponsorships is extremely inconsistent. And so let me show you. This is a live representation from Nicholas Crystal. This is not my graph. He made it in his video where he showed his yearly income in 2021 when he was blowing up as a YouTuber. And so you can see in January, he started with $2.5K, right? It was purely ad revenue, a little bit of affiliate, right? And a little bit stock footage for him, right? But let's just focus on ad revenue, sponsorships, and online shop, let's say, right? In February, he launched his online shop, and so he made very similar money from affiliate and ad revenue, but then his online shop got him to $4,000. And you can see in March, he got a sponsorship, got to $10,000 in a month, then April, $20,000, but then as soon as his sponsorships went away, $4,000 in June. So can you imagine, in April, you think to yourself, damn, I'm making $20,000 per month. And just 2 months later, you decrease that 5 times. Can you make a good living doing this? Like not seeing your income consistent? Because then like 2 months later, it goes up 10 times, but then it drops 2 times again. So this is extremely inconvenient. It is a big headache, and this is not just Nicholas Crystal, right? Of course, he was blowing up here, but normally when you're not blowing up, when you're just going very steadily, this is even worse. This is my graph for the past 335 days that I took at the end of May 2024, where this is my graph of YouTube ad revenue income. So you can see that like from June 2023 to October 2023, I was going very consistently. It was probably like $50 every month. Then for some reason in December, like 3 of my videos blew up in a single month. They went to like, I think $1,000 in a month, right? And I was like, yeah, I've made $1,000 in like November, then in December. But then a couple of months later in March, it was $50 again. And so if I didn't have a business, look at how down bad I could go with this, right? Because I would be like, yeah, I'm making so much money. I could buy myself a couple of good things here. I actually bought a motorcycle here. But then I would just go down and zero money again. This is extremely inconsistent. And you can say, oh, but you have 50,000 subscribers at this point. Yeah, but it's the exact same thing with big YouTubers. Of course, the numbers are just bigger, right? Because the gap could be from like $5,000 to $10,000. But just look at Iman Gadzius, right? 5 million subscribers. This is his graph. Look at how much up and down it goes. And so from here to here, he probably lost like tens of thousands of dollars, right? He made so much less. This is actually a graph for his views, but this is very similar. This usually goes hand in hand. And so do you want such inconsistent income? I don't think so. And it's not just the inconsistency. Because what if you get cancelled? What if you get demonetized? Now suddenly 100% of your income is gone, right? And you could see many YouTubers get cancelled over the past few years. And also like, what if you make the best video and assume, okay, this is going to make me a living for the next month, right? This video is going to make me $1,000, right? And so I'm gonna be able to live off of it for the next month. But what if YouTube doesn't find the right audience for 6 months straight and it only blows up later? Are you going to live like 6 months with no income at all? It will be pretty horrible, right? This is exactly what happened for one of my videos. Look, it went like 0 views pretty much for like 200 days, and only then it started blowing up and got me like $1,000. But before that, this was horrible, right? This is exactly what can happen with your videos. This is horrible, right? And why is this all so trash? Why is this YouTuber income so extremely inconsistent? Well, that's because YouTube was never intended to make you money. Content's entire idea, whether it be YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever, content's entire idea since the beginning of internet is advertising. The only difference between paid ads and normal videos is that you don't pay money, but you pay your time and effort. You know, paid ads. When you go on Google, you've got those ads which you use AdBlock for, right? So that you don't see those annoying pop-ups, right? On the ads on the sides of your screen. The only difference between that and actual content is the fact that on Instagram, you really have to think about how to blow up with the algorithm, how to grow, how to make good content so that it actually performs well. And with paid ads, you're just guaranteed reach because you pay. And so the only difference is what you pay with, but it's all just advertising. It was never made for making money, it was made for advertising. And so if you're just creating videos and have no product for sale, you're essentially paying with your effort and time for nothing, right? Imagine setting up an ad, paying for it, so that thousands of people see it, and it's just there and it doesn't promote anything. That's stupid, right? But that's the exact same thing that happens when you're creating videos, but you're not promoting anything in them. That's the exact same thing. And so you need to start your own business. And I know that business seems complicated, but really it's just about having a way for people to give you money. It's something as simple as that. Literally, like the entire idea of a business is that I can go on your channel, I can check your description, you're gonna have a link there. I'm like, okay, I can give him money here. So let me do that. Let me give him money. And now because I bought something from you, you're not hired by anybody, right? You're a businessman. You're an entrepreneur, right? That's the entire idea of a business. So just have a way for people to give you money. That could be anything. Programs, courses, lessons, coaching, whatever, right? And then basically what it is creating a product that people want, advertising it in your videos and making money. That is what all your favorite influencers do. That is exactly how they make millions with online education. You've got Iman Gadzi, his platform Educate. You watch his videos, he promotes it in there, you go watch his video, he sells it, that's it. Hamza, the exact same thing, promotes his Adonis school and the videos, you go to school, you buy their own school, that's it. Alex Hormozy, same thing, it's just on a much bigger scale because you need to be making at least $1 million per year to work with him. But it's again the same thing, content is just for advertising there. Recently blowing up, Charlie Morgan, you watch his videos, learn from that, then you sign up for calls where he sells you and he gets you to a product. Same thing. Jordan Welch, again, he makes content that he uses to advertise his dropshipping courses. Same thing there. Andrew Tate, all the content that was ever posted was just made to promote his Hustlers University and now the real world. And it doesn't matter that he didn't make that content himself. Other people were still promoting that this is all that was happening. Create content, advertise your product, make money. And the same thing with Luke Belmar, his Capital Club. That's why he has all the people making short form videos for him. That's it. That's the exact business model. And so it's all online education. And it is the best business model so far because like just all the millionaires you look up to do that. Doesn't that tell you anything? All the millionaires you look up to do that single business model. They tell you do SMMA, do dropshipping, do YouTube. They just do online education. So this is the best business model. And I'm being honest with you that like this is literally what I do too, right? And so you can take my word here. This is the lesson I've learned, right? This is not how to make money. This is how I make money too, right? Being authentic. This is very fun and purposeful to make money because literally like all you're doing is you're just talking about the thing that you like doing anyway. I love content creation. I'm teaching content creation. So it's all fun and games, right? It's not hard work for me. And so it's very fun and purposeful because I can get other creators to blow up on YouTube with me, to dominate the internet, to grow, to help change the world because we're putting out valuable content to YouTube, which is extremely valuable. Then you're also making a recurring income if you're going with a subscription-based model, which is huge because you don't have to keep selling all the time and the same customer can make you money pretty much forever if you give them enough value for them to stay in your, for example, community. Then you also have almost 100% profit margins because with dropshipping and all of that, you have to spend like 50% of your money on ads. And so you don't know if you're going to make them back, if the product flops and all of that. But here it's just like you're just putting in the effort to create the knowledge, to acquire it, to share it with other people. And then when you sell somebody, that's 100% profit margin. Like 100% of what you sell is profit, right? with some exceptions. But pretty much like over 90% is profit, which is huge. Very little businesses have that kind of an opportunity. Then you're also location and time independent, which is huge. You can go wherever you want. You can travel the world. You can work on Sundays, Saturdays, whenever you want, basically, right? Nobody stops you from waking up early, waking up late. You can do whatever you want. Absolute freedom. That's why all these points, like, it just sums up to the fact that online education is the best business model. And so I don't want to just leave you here, right? Just tell you, yeah, online education is the best business model. How do you start? Well, let me show you how to start, right? You want to start a school community, right? This is the best way to do this right now. All the people back there, right? They all start their communities, right? You've got an online school, you've got Educate, you've got Capital Club, right? All those things, those are all communities. This is extremely powerful. This is the trend right now. And the wave is just building up. It's going to become a tsunami later. And so you want to hop on this trend right now before the tsunami gets big, so you can make a bunch of money and then also hop on it before it crashes. Before eventually it's going to be, because eventually it's going to become oversaturated, but it's not yet. So make sure you take advantage of it right now. Again, this is what all influencers do, right? You can see Hamza making $130,000 per month with his Adonis school community, right? You've got a blowing up platform, which means that your customers are already there. School is blowing up like crazy. It's going to have like pretty much billions of views in the next few years. And so the people who you want to buy your products, they are already going to be there, which is going to make it super easy for them to buy your products, which is huge. This is just like when YouTube was blowing up years ago, right? 10 years ago. It was kind of easy to blow up as a creator because there were not many creators. The same opportunity is right in front of your eyes right now, which is huge. And just as a side note, you also have an entrepreneur worth over $100 million actively investing in it, which means that this is going to go huge in the future, right? They obviously calculated all of that. And so if he's investing in it, this is probably the future, right? And also, like, but don't worry. If you don't have an audience yet, right? You were watching a video about YouTube, but if you don't have a big audience yet, don't worry, because you can use school to grow your audience. This is a blowing up platform. And so I have many people joining my community just organically, just from school. I asked, where did you join from? He said, from school. I just browsed for different communities and I just joined. That's the thing, right? Because it's going to become so popular, your community will just grow organically. You don't even need to have a YouTube audience to promote it, right? It's going to grow anyway. There are people making tens of thousands of dollars growing from absolute zero. They started their community first and only then started growing on YouTube. So school is an insane opportunity. I'm just telling you, like, the wave is just building up and is going to become a tsunami in the future. Just like, you know, dropshipping is oversaturated, right? SMMA is oversaturated, but school is not oversaturated yet. This is the opportunity of our times. And so, bro, like, hop on it as soon as possible, right? And so if you've ever considered starting it, if you've ever considered, yeah, I may start a school community in the future. If you've ever considered maybe even starting it right now, listen, I created an absolutely free masterclass for you. You can see a school mastery course, start your own school community to make $10,000 per month. It's 100% free, okay? No catch there, 100% free. You've got the entire week one available in my free community, the Creator Hub. You can click the first link in the description and join my free community to get it. And you can see, like, there are all sorts of different courses. You've got the Creator Accelerator, you've got the YouTube scripting course, 1 million YouTube views course, and there are people getting sick results with it, making their first videos, first school communities. And so this course, like, bro, it's 100% free. Bro, it's going to literally change your life. I'm making this because a course like this changed my life a couple of months back. So now I'm giving this opportunity for you. It's 100% free. So click the first link in the description and join the free community right now, bro. And I'll see you on the side where people are sick of being consumers and where they want to be the creators of their own reality. Peace.